Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio.
Oh, hey, Elizabeth Dutton. What are you doing here?
Just hanging out.
I'm so glad you're here. Do you know what's ridiculous?
I do.
Oh.
And I was all fired up to tell you about this. I was going to say it's ridiculous that we don't have more research and material about kids who say they have past lives.
What do you mean?
Well, like there are little kids who tell people about their past life. And I was like, we don't need more research. And then I actually looked it up and there's a ton of it.
There's a lot of research. That's like where they started was that research.
They need to bring it to me and give it to me in a packet.
Yeah, the Life After Life. I have a copy if you want. You can borrow that. Yeah. It's a good book.
Well, I found a website from University of Virginia.
Okay.
And I guess they have like all these studies. They have the types of statements a child who had a past life might make.
Ooh, what do they make? What kind of statements do they make?
You're not my mommy. I have another daddy, which they're just sort of like, moody teen things. When I was big, I used to have a car.
Huh.
And then that happened before I was in mommy's tummy.
Oh, yeah. That's a common one.
I have a wife.
Have you seen Meryl?
It's just like a little boy in overalls. I have a wife. You're like, oh, all right, Timmy. I used to drive a truck.
We had a family friend who they told a story of one of the kids. There was two kids, and the younger one, when they were driving, they were going past Reading, which has a big rail yard there, and it's a turnaround place for like Union Pacific and all that. So they saw the freight trains for the first time. The kid's like 18 months, 2 years old, and they point from the back of the car. They go, "I used to be a railroad man." Kid doesn't even really say sentences at that point, but they know railroad man. So yeah, I used to be a railroad man.
One of the other things is that kids might say, "Remember when I was your daddy?"
Yes. I've read about that one. I used to pull that on my mother.
I say it to people all the time. Like at the supermarket checkout.
Yeah, that one time we were in the gas station, that was odd.
They're like, "Do you want to donate for the children?" And I'm like, "No. Do you remember when I was your daddy?"
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Ma'am, you need to leave."
You hold your hand out?
They're like, A, put on some pants. B, you have to leave.
We've talked about this, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. So that's my ridiculous. It's ridiculous that we don't talk about kids with past lives all the time. It's ridiculous that I thought they weren't doing the research just because I hadn't seen it.
Done the research yourself.
So ridiculous all around.
Stamped, approved.
Done.
Ridiculous.
Thank you.
Well, I've got something ridiculous to share with you, actually.
All right.
It's a story about crime in baseball, and it doesn't have anything to do with steroids.
Oh, well, my goodness.
I know, right?
That's new.
This is Ridiculous Crime, a podcast about absurd and outrageous capers, heists, and cons. It's always 99% murder-free and 100% ridiculous.
Hooray!
Elizabeth, I would like to tell you a story about the boys of summer.
I bet you would.
Yeah, the ball players of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Now, specifically the Kansas City Royals.
Okay.
Now, you're a baseball fan, an A's fan, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, you and Trav have talked about the Oakland A's. Now, are you as much of a fan as Trav is?
He's way more baseball guy than I am.
But you used to go to games, right? Like,
oh, yeah.
Eck is your favorite baseball player, Dennis Eckersley?
Yes.
Now, why was Dennis Eckersley your favorite player?
Because two things. One, just an amazing closing pitcher, like a closer.
Mm-hmm.
It was always really thrilling. Like he'd come to the plate and then just throw 3 just gnarly strikes and then that's it. And everyone go nuts. But then there's like his redemption story where he was this wild alcoholic in a mess. And then Tony La Russa kind of took him under his wing, much like he did with all sorts of stray pets, and like nursed him to health. And like, so he went from being like the Dennis Eckersley gin cannon to like straight and narrow. To
the mustache salesman that we saw.
The mustachioed. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I like that. I actually didn't even know all that about Eck.
Well, now you do.
Now I do. Did you know that the Milwaukee Brewers used to be called the Seattle Pilots?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, now we both traded things.
That's cool.
That'll come back up later in the story. But
that's cool for me.
It's cool for you. Look at you. The Seattle Pilots, they were one of my favorite teams, and I mentioned them to see if people like really love baseball, or if they're like, I know the game, because if you really know the game, you know about the Seattle Pilots.
When did they switch over?
I'll get into that.
Oh.
So which era was your favorite Oakland A's uniform?
When they have, anytime they have the dark green as the like, and then the yellow
the
piping.
stripes on the sides?
I
Okay,
like
so like the Charlie Finley 70s era?
Yeah.
Vita Blue, okay. Reggie Jackson, that A's team? Good.
Back when their pants were actually kind of like short pants, not, it looks weird to me when baseball players have the...
Like sock length pants?
They have like the boot cut pants.
Straight leg, boot cut baseball pants.
They don't have those cool socks.
Oh, the stirrups?
Stirrups, yeah.
Yeah, so that's exactly what we'll be talking about is this switchover in the uniforms. Like that was happening at that Charlie Finley era of the 70s. And the A's weren't the only one to go wild with color. There was the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm not sure if you know, but they had the flat top oil can hats.
That's right.
And that was pinstriped, right? Now there was just before we get into the uniforms, I want you to know that like the 70s era of baseball doesn't get credit for pretty much changing baseball into what we think of it now. Because during the 70s, like the peak of it, you have like those multi-purpose stadiums, right?
Right.
That's where you would like be able to, they look like they're all cement, big old salad bowl stadiums.
Oakland Coliseum.
Oakland Coliseum is a perfect example, right? Now you could go see a baseball game in the day, see a Led Zeppelin concert that same night, right? Now, that was the 70s era. Now, modern baseball, you have all these retro ballparks. It's like much friendlier. It's nicer. It's made for the fans. Back then, it was made for the game.
Right.
So to speak.
Well, they're trying to get back to that Wrigley Field, which is the best.
Yes, the friendly confines, my favorite ballpark. Now, that 70s era, the look and feel of the game, as I said, basically changes. And the big thing was the uniforms. They went from wearing flannel and wool uniforms in like throughout the summer. Can you imagine wearing...
That's fun to sweat in.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. And also sliding dirt in. You're wearing a full belt buckle. You got wool pants on.
Right.
You're wearing the stirrups. I mean, it's just a nightmare for like, I don't know, muggy temperatures if you're playing a day game in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Now, they decide, hey, we've been to the moon. Let's do some better living through chemistry. And baseball's like, yeah, man, they get on board. And they're like, we want all the nylon, Dacron, rayon, synthetic fabrics you got. Your favorite fabrics.
Bakelite clogs.
Now, this begins in like July 1970. That's when this switchover happens, right? Okay. So
before my time.
Before your time. Before our time, this is occurring. Now, but in basically 3 years' time, all of baseball's teams switch over. Between 1970, like July, when the Pittsburgh Pirates are the first to change their team's uniform, and they start wearing something like that's relaxed and fun. And then all of a sudden, 3 years later, by opening day, all of the teams have changed their uniform in one way or another.
Right.
Now, Houston Astros 70s uniform. Do you remember that one? That's like a perfect exemplar of what I'm talking about.
Was there like red or orange involved?
They had like rainbow stripes. They had rainbow striped stirrups. They had rainbow warm-up jackets. They had rainbow polos for the training staff. Rainbow
like literal
everything.
rainbows.
Yeah, like
full
rainbow.
spectrum
And then
rainbows.
they also had the red, orange, brown that you're thinking of with the yellow.
Yeah.
Now, for a little fun fact on that Astros uniform, that was created by a ad agency. McCann Erickson got in. They're like, hey, we'll jazz this up, right? And the Astros are a very 70s team in that way. But I'd like to go back to the Pirates, the soul-powered Pittsburgh Pirates. That was the first team to field an all-black lineup in baseball.
Oh, really?
They don't get credit for that, so I thought I'd point that out. The Roberto Clemente 1970 era.
Yeah.
So they were like really into, also my man Dave Parker. That team was like all about being like, basically, how do I say this? Not just fun, but like actually about life. And they decided they would take their uniforms as the first indicator of that. So they got rid of the pants, not the full pants. We were wearing pants.
They Porky Pigged it out on the field.
They just ran around out there, just shirts. That was it, and the hat. Baseball helmets, though, very safe. But in all honesty, they get rid of the normal wool pants, and they get these Sansa-belt pants. I knew that you would be into this. They said, "Hey, we're gonna go with that Elizabeth soft pant revolution."
Everyone needs to join the soft pants revolution.
They did. They were early adopters.
Good.
And all of baseball saw the genius of it because they're like, wait a minute, as I was saying earlier, you don't have to slide on a belt. I love this.
Yeah.
Now, and also, they had buttons down the center of every one of their jerseys. So that was also another thing that hurt to slide on. And if then, this is either like sliding into second or sliding for a baseball in the grass, didn't matter. It hurt to play in a baseball uniform. And for decades, nobody cared about that. They're just like, hey, you guys are boys. Enjoy it. You're being paid to play a game. Now, these Pittsburgh Pirates, their radical uniforms, the local press, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, they said at the time it resembled ski pants, right? So the fans at first didn't know what to make of this, but it was so much fun. They were like, you know what? Let's lean into this. And all of a sudden, it becomes like baseball is this, not a party, but it had always been a conservative sport. And now suddenly it becomes like has kind of shaking off some of that conservatism. And just to run around the league, to give you an example, like the Cleveland Guardians, they decided to wear an all red uniform. The shirts were red, their pants were red, the cleats were red, the stirrups were red, the socks, the whole thing red. Can you imagine that?
Well, it wreaked havoc on their laundry.
You have no idea. Just bleeding out and everything.
Well, I think the thing is, too, is like you were saying about how baseball is a conservative sport. I think a lot of that has to do with the pacing. That it's such a longer, more patiently paced game. There are exciting parts of it, but you don't have like a time clock on it.
No pressure.
And so, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I love.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love that.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Without having that clock looming over you at the end of the game where all the tension ratchets up with what a lot of people like about sports. You're like, you know what? If we can get rid of that.
I'm like, the only problem is they keep score. If we just get rid of the score and just get out there, it's a perfect game.
Everyone just has fun. Yeah. Another big winner, I thought you'd enjoy this. Once they decided to change uniforms in baseball, the group that probably benefited the most, can you guess who this was?
Change uniforms in baseball. I don't know.
The equipment managers.
Oh.
They had to dry clean 50 uniforms pretty much either every day or every other day. So suddenly now, you want to talk better living through chemistry, these guys are freed up to now have these machine washable fabrics.
Right,
and so they're just like, they're celebrating this. Like they should have made ads for these guys. That's how much it changed their lives. Like I read some of these quotes. You would think it was like one of those like 50s ads, like where a woman has been freed from the domestic chores of life. Like they were that joyous. Right?
I bet.
Now, getting back to the color, I told you the Cleveland Guardians, they wore all red. The Padres, they wore all yellow uniforms.
Yeah.
Then you had the Kansas City Royals, which I'll be telling you about today. They had powder blue uniforms.
That's smooth.
All powder blue. Like so powder blue, like a robin's egg would be jealous. Like I'm talking powder blue. Now, there of course were a few holdouts. There, remember I said it's a conservative sport. So there were the Yankees, the Tigers, and the LA Dodgers. They all decided to keep their uniforms exactly the way they were. They didn't redesign them. They didn't add color. They didn't have like an all blue Dodgers uniform.
Did they change the fabric?
They did change the fabric. That's what they were willing to do. They're like, all right, guys, you get softer pants. But the Yankees are known like this because you know that if you join the Yankees, you have to shave. You cannot have a mustache.
Right. Well, that was Johnny Damon's thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, he had to do it too when he joined.
He had to cut his hair.
But anybody, that's why you don't ever see. Only one who had an exception is Don Mattingly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Right, yeah. Anyway, so the Cubs and the Milwaukee Brewers, they were like the kind to say like, we'll kind of change our uniforms. And I'll explain why with the Brewers, this is a little bit more silly. But with the Cubs, they were known for it. They were iconic, right? So they didn't want to like change it up. So they just decided like, we'll get rid of the belts and buttons. So they kind of took the Dodgers and Yankees stance, but they also changed up the fabric. So they did do a little design. But the
velvet and Velcro.
Crushed velvet and some velveteen slip. But the other big driver for this is, can you guess what happened in the 1970s that would make suddenly people want to be like all joyous in color in baseball?
In baseball?
Specifically.
I don't know.
Well, I'll give you a hint. It wasn't the drugs.
Okay.
It was color televisions. 1972 was the year that color TVs were there were more color TVs sold than black and white TVs sold.
It was that long.
1972. Wow. So baseball's like, we need to bring these people the feel of the game, the green of the grass. Then, now this idea of like, let's bring the fans more of the baseball players and their feel, it gets taken too far, naturally.
Everything always gets taken too far.
There was the Chicago White Sox. Oh, here, I will just preface it this way. What does your mother say when she sees someone wearing shorts?
This actually, we had the episode about the Pretty Pants Bandit.
Yes.
And my mother was talking to my uncle about it. And I said in there, pretty pants, like a parrot. And my uncle said, no, it sounds like you, to my mom. And she said, wah? And then it revealed something she tried to suppress from us, that when she was younger, if my uncle showed up, if he came out of his room wearing shorts, she would say, pretty legs, until he would put long pants on. You know that Dawn doesn't wear shorts. Come on. And then, but that wasn't enough, that apparently then when she was of driving age and she'd drive with my uncles in the car, she'd roll down her window if she saw a man in shorts and would yell, pretty legs, to like, I guess,
just
shame
any
them.
stranger she saw on the street.
It's so awesome. And I'm like, I understand why I am the way I am.
Yeah.
Pretty legs.
Pretty legs. So she would have lost it at the Chicago White Sox games. In 1976, the Chicago White Sox under Bill Veeck decided, you know what? Let's take this uniform trend and really push it. And I quote, the uniforms offered 3 different pants styles. The clam diggers, which are just your modern day long pants worn by most MLB players today. The knickerbockers, which are short pants with high socks, still popular these days, but less so than they used to be. And the aforementioned Hollywood shorts, named for the short pant uniform previously worn by the minor league Hollywood stars in the 1950s. Traditional shorts you'd wear around your backyard on a warm summer day. Despite the knees being exposed, players weren't exactly going to have problems sliding. The high socks worn with the shorts had special rubber sewn in just below the knee to act like some sort of sliding pad, protecting the player's legs from any potential burns or cuts.
I'm going to pass out. This is the greatest thing ever. So I'm imagining there's like normal pants, then there's like the Kevin Federline clam diggers, or like, capris.
Below the knee,
And then and then there's shorts.
These are like Magnum PI,
but
Thomas
shorts,
Selleck,
but they have like thigh-high socks on or something. What is going on? It's like they're rubber socks?
They have socks with rubber pieces in them sewn in for their knee protection. So they're pulled up white socks, and then they have some thigh meat showing, and like a lot of thigh meat.
I'm not worried.
Then they have white short shorts like they work at Hooters.
I'm not worried about their knees. Like if you're sliding into home, those shorts are going to floss you like nobody's there's going to run right up the middle. Ooh.
It didn't take long for the Chicago White Sox to figure out what you're describing.
I need to look for pictures of this.
How many games? See this. How many games do you think they did this
Half?
For?
They had 4 innings, and then the guy's like,
half of a game. The guys just took them off, threw them into the stands.
They're getting heckled, and then they went nude.
They started on August 8th, 1976. They wore the uniforms for exactly 2 other games. There was a total of 3 games between
they were more generous
August 8th and August 22nd. The Chicago White Sox wore hot pants, like white, short, Hooters uniforms.
Wow.
Now, they also, by the way, I don't know if you know this, Chicago White Sox were going wild in the 70s. I'm trying to explain to people that the baseball in the 70s is just look into it. It's a joyous time. There was also the heralded 1979 game where they decided to basically boycott disco. Have you heard about this?
Oh, was that when they had the burning of the records or whatever?
So the Detroit Tigers are in town to face the Chicago White Sox. Game's a doubleheader. This promoter gets this brilliant idea. We should have a local shock jock who's pretty much mildly racist and homophobic.
Yeah, that's what that was.
Into this, chaotic scene where they're going to have a huge stack of disco records and they're going to protest disco music, I guess.
Yeah,
that's the idea.
Whatever.
So they have lowered prices, so everybody comes in, everybody gets hopped up on beer and I guess, Chicago's finest salted meats. And they're all now ready for the mayhem, right? First game goes on, everybody's cheering and shouting, and they all brought, by the way, disco records to burn.
Yeah.
And they get bored in the first game and start throwing them onto the field, and they're just knifing into the field, into the outfield, nearly taking off players' heads. One of the players recommends that they go out there with batting helmets to be in the outfield after the first inning. They're like, we can't do it. We cannot. It's a danger to us. That's how bad it was before any of this goes on, right? So there was,
that kind of reminds me at the Coliseum, they used to have Bat Day.
Oh, yeah. That was
And that's
that was
a
fun.
recipe
The little
for
miniature
disaster.
bats.
Yeah, but it was just they stopped that because, come on, you have...
Once you've been mugged by a souvenir bat.
Well, and it's, you're $6, $7, $8 beers deep.
Yeah,
all of a sudden,
people are just pummeling each other in the cheap seats. The Detroit Tigers had a DH named Rusty Staub, and he was the one who told his teammates that they should wear batting helmets because of the danger of the disco LPs being chucked into the field.
Chopped by a Donna Summer.
He said, and I quote, "It wasn't just one, it was many. Oh God Almighty, I've never seen anything so dangerous in my life."
Oh, God.
Direct quote, right? Now, the umpires stopped the game numerous times, all in this first game, just to get the field cleared or to tell the fans stop throwing records. Now, the crowd continues to get drunk, right? They continue to get more frothed up on each other. And this only promises uncapped nonsense. So between the games, they decide, okay, this is the time to burn the records. So they have everybody pile a bunch of disco records into the middle of the field.
Wait, and there's another game.
There's a doubleheader. This is between the doubleheader. So then they set the pile.
Grounds crew.
Exactly. They set this huge pile of records. So they just imagine like a mound of vinyl, right?
Yeah.
Underneath this is explosives because they weren't sure that it would go, so they wanted to blow them up.
No.
So they have actual explosives. They set the explosives. They go 3, 2, 1, countdown. Boom. The records fly into the air. Now you have shards of vinyl going everywhere.
Oh my God.
And they rain back down into the field. So now the players are going to have to slide around in this grass covered up with shards of black vinyl.
And there's the smell of melted vinyl.
Oh, yeah, everywhere. It's just smoky.
Oh my God.
So after the disco fire, this leads to a riot. The fans rush and charge the field. This is not enough for them. They want to get closer to the fire, so they rush the field and they turn into absolute chaos. The cops have to be called, right? Because the fans who are now chanting "Disco sucks, disco sucks" as they parade around this flaming mound of vinyl, and the Chicago police, who are not cool police, this is like the 70s. They are at this point known for basically breaking up the Democratic Convention with violence.
Right?
That's Chicago police.
Yeah.
The same one who killed Chairman Fred Hampton. That's Chicago police. They're like, we can handle this crowd. They can't handle this crowd. They have no chance. They have to call the game. They call game 2. They postpone it, and they decide, you know what? Let's just not do this. Let's just pretend this never happened. They forfeit game 2 and walk away completely.
Oh, wow.
That was baseball in the 1970s.
That's incredible.
Okay, so now you ready to get into some crime and baseball uniforms?
I am.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you about the Kansas City Royals and how they lost their uniforms when they got robbed on the road after this short break. Elizabeth, welcome back to the 1970s of baseball.
Yes.
I've got more for you.
Okay.
You remember how I mentioned the Seattle Pilots?
Right.
Okay. Well, the Seattle Pilots, they were a team that lasted for 1 year. They eventually became the Milwaukee Brewers.
Right.
Now, how did they become the Milwaukee Brewers? Like most expansion teams or teams that switch, it was a process. Like they got sold and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Not exactly. This wasn't like most of them.
Okay.
They basically went bankrupt after their first year in baseball.
Oh, no way.
Completely. So this all goes down in spring training in 1970. So they are a 1969 expansion team. They come into the league. They last 1 year. They're the Seattle Pilots. Yay. And then spring training next year. Are we still a team? I don't know. Just go to spring training. Everything should be cool. I think it should be fine. The checks are clearing, guys. The bus is gassed up. Let's just go to spring training and not think about it. Focus on baseball. Everyone's like, wait, are we going to be a team? Like, we really need to know this. I just bought a house.
I haven't gotten a check. So,
like, it's cool, man. It's cool, guys. Just keep your stuff close to you, though, because we may need to move fast.
Oh, my goodness.
The team finds out that the ownership for the Seattle Pilots decided to give it up. They're like, you know what? We're not good at baseball. So they get out of it. They put the team up for sale.
That sounds like a money laundering operation.
All these other teams are like people are like, what are we going to do? Baseball has never had this happen before.
Yeah.
So then an owners group comes together in Milwaukee. They're like, okay, we'll buy it because they've been trying to bring baseball to Milwaukee for years.
They stepped up. They saved the day.
Oh, completely. And then they bring over, they buy them in spring training and they say, okay, now you're the Milwaukee Brewers. And so they give them the name. And then they go, okay, but guys, keep the uniforms. Let me just cut this off. And then they rip off the Seattle part and the Pilot part. And then they sew on Milwaukee and they push them out onto the field.
That's amazing.
And they go play and they're like borrowed uniforms.
Wow.
And to this day,
idea.
they are still the same colors as the Seattle Pilots because they've never changed from blue and yellow.
Why should you?
Yeah, it just worked for them.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is a kind of like, I just want to get into the vibe, if you will, of the Milwaukee Brewers uniform. They have like a very rare vibe in baseball. They aren't like if you talk about uniform stuff, Milwaukee Brewers are just going to keep coming up. If you look into the research, you're like, oh, they used to be the Seattle Pilots. And now we'll get into the time when they were part of the Kansas City Royals' great uniform heist.
Oh.
Yes. This story goes down in 1977. The Kansas City Royals were on a road trip. They'd traveled Milwaukee to face the Brewers, who are at this point a 7-year-old team with long-standing tradition of excellence. And the first game, Royals go down 4-3. Brewers win the first game of the homestand. Second game is a day game, really nice. The Royals, they take that one. And now they beat the Brewers handily this time, 6-0. So we're 1-1 in the 3-game stand. Game 3 of the series is set for Saturday afternoon, June 12th.
Okay.
Year is 1977. The stadium was locked up from Saturday evening around 6:30 that night until the training staff and the ballpark staff arrived the next day at 9 a.m. to prepare for the day game. That's when the shock gets revealed. Elizabeth, I'd like you to close your eyes.
Yes.
And I'd like you to picture it.
I'm ready.
It's June 12th, 1977. You're high above Milwaukee, up in the clouds, or as they would say in Milwaukee, the beer foam of the skies. And suddenly you start floating down this cloud beer foam sky. And oh, look, there's the brewery from Laverne and Shirley. Oh, and you descend quicker now. But it's not like you're falling. You're gliding or perhaps sliding down the sky, right? Just like on an invisible slide. And all of a sudden, boom, you get deposited at a beautiful baseball stadium. You land in the outfield.
2 questions.
Yes.
I have the gift of flight now?
No, you just have the gift of controlled falling.
Or am I just high?
You could be
and
that
I think
too.
am I in a mental institution somewhere?
No, you're in the outfield of Milwaukee County Stadium in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
All right. I love how I got there.
Yeah, you like that?
What was I doing before?
Oh no, you're an interesting person. I don't judge you, all right? I just picked up with you where you were in the sky.
I think I was soaring with the Eagles.
That sounds like you. I could totally see that.
Yeah.
Up where eagles fly.
I was composing a power ballad. Anyway, continue.
So there you are. It's an enormous mid-century cement bowl of a stadium.
Brutalist.
Yeah, very brutalist. And it looks like an enormous cement mixer truck just poured it. Just
Love
the
it.
whole stadium in one thing.
Love it. Give
Now,
me more.
This cement salad bowl, it holds 52,000 people.
Wow.
Big for a ballpark. These
Yeah.
days, like 30,000 is,
Right.
good. So the baseball field at the center is, very fit for the boys of summer. Left field line's 315 feet from home plate. Left center is deep, 392 feet.
Okay.
You look over to right field. Now center is 402. Right field is 315. Just a foot separates left field line and right field line. You're like, I love this stadium.
Yeah,
Classic baseball.
I do. And then I flew around.
Yeah. You bounced around
And
in
I
the grass a little.
pooped on someone like a bird would.
You hovered there for a second and just looked at them.
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
And then I just came down screeching at him.
Like an eagle.
Yeah, on a rabbit in the snow.
So now you're, basically barefoot walking around in the grass of the outfield.
I am a piece of work today.
I'm telling you, you're quite the hippie. The 70s have been hard for you.
Yeah.
So you're in this, it's not quite a hitter's field, but you're in this cozy little ballpark and you jog over toward the home team's dugout. You want to go see what's what because there's nobody in the ballpark. It's just you by yourself before the game. And if you'd arrived 3 days later, you could have caught Pink Floyd play a show as part of their In the Flesh tour.
What's to say I didn't?
I wouldn't even ever limit you.
You don't know my life.
No, I don't. And I'm not asking questions.
I mean, I'm flying.
Yes, exactly.
I can do what I want.
I wouldn't limit you.
I'm a grown-ass woman.
You can move through time and space.
I do.
So, and then also, if you'd arrived 2 months later in September, you could have caught Fleetwood Mac on their Rumors tour.
I did.
Oh, big stadium show.
I was Fleetwood Mac at that point.
Oh,
All of them.
Do you remember the opening act?
No. Who was
Jimmy Buffett on his Changes in Latitude, Changes in Attitude tour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So now as you jog
I am
in,
so deep in 77 right now. This is incredible.
You're like knee deep in Quaaludes. So as you jog in, you note the sudden difference in sound between the footsteps in the grass. It's all soft and now it's that scratchiness of the infield, right? And at the dugout, you pause for a second. There's still nobody there. You take a few steps down the dugout and you walk in through the dugout now into the actual stadium's like bowels, and you start walking towards the locker rooms, or what be the locker rooms, the clubhouse in baseball. And you start noticing there's like painted cement bricks. It smells like dirt, mud, pine tar, all those great baseball smells, right? And even though you know not where you're going, you still head forward with the confidence of somebody who does.
That's me.
And you see at the end of a hallway a door open. You're like, I should probably go over there.
Of course.
So you press over to the open door and you notice there are these ball boys standing there. And they look just forlorn, just heads down, confused. They look worried, sad, hurt.
This is like the weirdest first-person video game I've ever been in.
Just be glad you're not in a first-person shooter. You're just like first-person hugger.
Yeah.
You guys need a hug? Who here needs a hug? So you notice that where the ball boys are looking, it's the equipment manager.
Now, hold on. Are they ball boys or bat boys? Because I made a mistake before in another episode and said ball boys.
Well, in basketball, they're ball boys. In baseball, they're bat boys.
Yeah, in tennis,
these guys
ball
are from
boys.
basketball. These just happen to be in the stadium.
They touch balls and bats.
Yeah. So the bat boys, if you will, if you won't, I don't know.
I don't know.
They're watching their boss, the equipment manager, the manager, and he's muttering to himself. He looks
in
even,
French.
He looks even more worried, right? And you don't want to interrupt him because you've just flown into the stadium.
Well, yeah.
You've got stuff you don't want to have to explain either.
I got a lot going on.
Yeah, everyone's got questions in this scene, right? So you're sitting there, and inside the clubhouse, you notice that there are these lockers for all the players. They're just, they look like little tiny closets. And before them is a little like stool. And you notice that it looks really neat, except for in the area where their personal items would be, there and lucky talismans, because it's ball players. There's
the statue to Jobu.
Exactly, the statue of Jobu, the rum needed. You notice that the lockers, they're bare. And there's hangers on the ground. And you're like, wait a minute. Instead of freshly laundered uniforms, you see nothing. There's just those hangers. And it's like, what is it? The porridge with the three bears?
Right.
Empty. Everything is empty. You're like, oh, this is the problem. I can see the issue.
Or is it? Are they
no
clear uniforms now?
Are they invisible?
They're revamping all the uniforms. They've got like clear and then lucite shoes.
The Emperor wears no uniform.
They're all pressed up against the plastic.
They're wearing like stripper heels and they've got clear gloves.
With goldfish in the
heels.
Yeah.
So there's no freshly laundered uniforms, no machine washable uniforms, nothing. And the hangers on the floor let you know that something bad has gone down. And
someone's been a rummaging.
You see the visiting team clubhouse manager, Jim Shazinski, and he's on the phone with a reporter from the Associated Press. And the reason you know this is because you hear Jim Shazinski say, so I put my key in the lock and it wouldn't turn. And then I pushed the door. So AP guy, you still there? Yeah, okay. So the door is open and I saw right away there were no jerseys. You're like, oh my goodness. There's no jerseys. What are they going to do? And you don't know what exactly to say. Nobody knows what to say. The Bat Boys are still forlorn. But Jim Shazinski, he's still on the phone with the AP reporter. He's got plenty more to say because he's got to explain this crime.
Yeah.
So Shazinski, he says, I could see the shirts were missing. At night, right after the game, we hang them up in the proper order. Whoever pulled this thing was awfully neat. The stools were right in front of the lockers the way they should be. The lockers weren't all messed up. So it's a real neat crime that these guys pulled.
Yeah.
Whoever these criminals are, it looks like it possibly is an inside job. Now, remember, the Kansas City Royals are the visiting team. It's their uniforms have been stolen. Why would you steal the visiting team's uniforms? Is it like a hex? Is it like, to mess with them? Is it like they'll get them back after the game?
Did they steal their own uniforms because they knew they weren't playing very well that day? Can't play.
Can't
no
play.
uniforms.
Sorry, guys.
Bye, guys.
Unless you want us out there in those short shorts.
They're like, don't have to ask me twice.
So in total, you hear Shazinski tell you that 53 uniforms have been stolen.
53.
Yep.
Great day.
10 pairs of cleats, 15 warm-up jackets, and 20 baseball gloves have all been stolen from their locker room.
Yeah.
So nobody knows what to do, right? Because they even took the manager, Whitey Herzog, they even took old Whitey's uniform.
Aww.
Yeah, right?
Poor fella.
The nickname Whitey, can we pause for a second? This is something you don't hear much anymore, right? Now, like, I've
sort
read...
of a Gil Scott Heron.
Whitey's on the moon, and he's coaching the Royals.
He really thought that was about him.
He did.
I bet you think this song is about you.
I read his autobiography, and it's called White Rat, by the way, because that was his other nickname.
Poor guy.
I swear to God, yeah. Guy's great. I mean, not great. I don't know. He's an interesting character from the mid-century America. And I just was wondering when I was reading the research on this, could you still give a dog the name Whitey? Like, could you be in a dog park? Come here, Whitey. Come here, Whitey. Can I be yelling that? Like, is that something that'd be cool? I mean, look, I named him after Whitey Herzog, my favorite baseball manager.
Let's try it. You get a white dog.
Yeah.
And you go to the park.
Okay, Elizabeth, in case you were wondering, and I know you were, the tops that they were wearing, the uniform tops, they were
coconut bras.
$31 a piece.
31
in
what?
70s
Wholesale?
prices. That's 70s prices. That's not cheap.
Not like at the... Oh, do you think they went to just like the merch table? What's the merch?
What's the merch table in baseball?
Yeah, it was like
they went to like the
souvenirs.
The souvenir shop. And they're like, how much for a couple jerseys?
Yeah, they're like, how much? Just clean them out.
Well, that's actually.
But wait, so that's how much it costs the team per jersey?
Yeah,
okay.
That is how much they cost. They also, by the way, they took the hats. The hats were $625 per hat, so they had to pay that up. But in total, it doesn't really matter. It was $3,470 worth of Kansas City Royals merch, as you would say. Yes. The Royals equipment manager, Al Zitch, he was he's your kind of guy. I like this guy. He was on it with the logistics. He's like, normally, guys, like I have 2 uniforms packed for everybody, right?
Right.
And this is because they're on a road trip. But this time, normally that would mean they would have 60 uniforms. It would be good. But he brought all 60 and they stole 53. He was like, I don't know what to do, guys. I mean, like I'm prepared for everything but crime. So yeah, poor Al Zitch. His solution didn't play. So anyway, well, he did have a good quote. Yeah. Do you mind if I quote Al Zitch?
Please do.
Al Zitch said, and this is true 70s baseball style.
Producers note, this is not a direct quote.
Whatever, let's get funky with it and just throw out the past. Forget rules, tradition, clear the delineation between opposing teams. Nothing matters but the moment.
Let's get funky with it.
That's his answer. You know what that means? We'll wear the Brewers uniforms. We don't need we don't need our uniforms. Al Zitch is like, he's logistics. He's like, they got uniforms, don't they? We'll wear them. So they say, you guys wear your home uniforms. We'll wear your away uniforms. Let's go play ball, guys.
Oh, my goodness. First of all, for the rest of my life, if I encounter a problem, I'm like, you know what? Let's get funky with it.
Forget rules. Forget tradition. Let's get funky with it.
Let's just get funky with it, everybody. Come on now.
Milwaukee style, guys.
Yeah, if there's like a huge earthquake and I'm like helping someone get out of a
reaching a hand down,
broken building, and they're like, my legs. I'm like, you know what? Just get funky with it.
We're going to need to get funky with it. So
I'm sorry. That's just
reach. The Royals, they're into what Al Zitch's plan. They're like, you know what? We wear powder blue. You wear powder blue. Let's just keep it powder true. And they do it. They're like, you're a recent expansion team. We're a recent expansion team. We're just 2 kooky kids trying to make it in baseball.
Let's just all slip into something a little more comfortable.
Yeah, we get you. Let's make this happen, huh? So how about let us slide into your chonies and maybe we can make this game work for both of us, huh?
Yeah. Did all their under things get taken too?
Their jocks, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to be
like you don't want to say jock.
I'm trying to be delicate about their underclothes.
Yes. Their undergarments. Their sporting undergarments.
Unmentionables.
They were left aside, possibly because I don't know. They just didn't think they'd have much value on the black market.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Duly noted. I'll mark that down.
So there we are. The Brewers are like, look. If you want to be the shag carpet, we'll be the barefoot. Let's make this happen, 70s style. And they decide we'll switch uniforms. And after a little break, we will get into the actual game and see how this nutty 70s plays out.
I love it.
Okay, Elizabeth, it's game time. Both teams are on the field wearing the same uniforms. You're just having to pick them apart because home and away uniforms. Can you do it? Are you with me?
I think it's going to be confusing, but yes.
Okay. Now, Royals starting pitcher for the day is a 20-game winner, Jim Colburn. He's something of a ham. He's kind of full of himself. He would later go on to work in Hollywood as Kevin Costner's body double in the 1999 movie For the Love of the Game.
Oh, not in Bull Durham.
Oh, no. And he would also joke that he was Kevin Costner's body double for the love scenes. Like whenever he got interviewed,
this
he's like,
guy sounds exhausting.
Yeah,
he stole the uniforms.
He was actually the third base coach. That's what he was in the movie.
Oh,
but he was the body double. And your query about, let's face it, he stole the uniforms.
Yeah,
the cops thought the same thing.
Well, yeah, when you say, "Oh, he's a ham," I'm like, red flag right there.
Yeah, the cops who were later investigating it, they came up and they actually asked him point blank, "Hey, Jim, this isn't one of your jokes, is it?"
He's
Jim
most likely to get funky with it.
He's definitely familiar with the funk.
Oh, yeah.
He gets out there and he tells the sports writers right before he's going to go onto the field. He's like, hey, I guess there's just no way the Brewers can't win today.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you'd like that one. He's a card, a cut-up.
He's a real clown.
He should go to Hollywood, is what I'm saying.
He should. He really should.
There's an interesting thing about baseball. It's the only sport where the coaches wear the uniform of the players.
Yeah.
You know, like every other sport, you wouldn't imagine, like, I don't know, in basketball, guys sitting there in the shorts
That
and
would
the
be
tank top.
no,
Guys.
they're always all Men's Warehouse. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah, I like it. They're down in the trenches.
They're also wearing the little boys uniform too. It makes it all.
They get easily confused with the Bat Boys.
Yes, exactly. Well, like Connie Mack, he's my dude. The old Philadelphia Phillies owner, manager. He would always wear a suit in the like dugout. So everyone else would be sitting there spitting chaw and everything. He's sitting there looking like a banker. That guy was amazing, right? But the reason why this tradition comes about is because all the original player managers back in the like dead ball era of baseball, so like the 19-teens and the early 1900s, you had like players like Frank Chance of the Chicago Cubs. He was a player manager. There was Roger Hornsby with the St. Louis Cardinals, Eddie Collins with the Chicago White Sox. So this was like how they get started. But now it's just like a ridiculous tradition. So
I don't think so. I think that's what
think so?
What, that they wear the uniforms too? That they wear the little costumes?
Yeah.
I don't think it's silly. I think you know why? It's because baseball doesn't have the plantation mentality of other professional sports. And that's driven home by the
clear delineation between owners
Yep.
and management and players.
Yep.
That's an interesting point. I had not thought about that.
Thank you.
I will have to give that point some consideration.
Thank you.
I take it back.
Everyone gets to wear a little costume. I like that.
Well,
It's equitable.
I didn't really realize the labor issues of this, so thank you for correcting me on that. The fabric labor matrix
Everything
is
I do
strong.
is all about my fellow working men and women.
No, I respect that about you. So my dude, Whitey Herzog, old white rat, he decides, now he tells the sports writers, because he won't go out there in a Brewers uniform. He's like a true loyal man, a competitor. He's like, there's no way I'm going out there in another team's uniform. Just give me some sweats and a hoodie. I will be fine.
There you go.
So he goes out there in a Royals pair of sweats and like a Royals trainer's jacket. And he insists that he has to have the Royals colors on. So he's out there in sweatpants and like a starter jacket.
I love it.
So yeah, and before the game, he says to the sports writers, and I quote, "That's the first time something has happened like this in my career. But I was on some really bad teams. Nobody wanted our shirts."
Oh.
You see why I like Whitey.
He's
like,
down in the trenches with his team.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Now, there's another guy I think you'd like, center fielder Amos Otis. He was like, like a lot of the players are having issues like, hey, whose uniform am I going to be wearing? Is that player, like, it wasn't like how big is he? It was more like, is he on a slump? Is he on a streak?
Right,
It's baseball. So he's like, Amos Otis, like, can this guy hit? This guy whose uniform you're giving me? They're like, oh, this is the manager's uniform. He's like, well, could he hit? And he's like,
they're like, no, but it's still warm.
yeah, exactly. We took it off of him. So if you want it or not, we need to give it back to him. He's over there in his underwear.
He puts
Looking
it on.
awkward.
He's like, this guy wears a lot of cologne.
Yeah. What is this, Aqua Velva? So the manager, Alex Grammas, he was a 241 hitter when he was in the bigs. So Otis is like, well, I'll get some hits today. Maybe I can make him look good. So he's like right before he gets out there, like, hey, are you sure you're cool with the uniform, Amos? And he's like, yeah. I mean, ooh. And he looks up and he sees one he'd rather have. He's like, you know what? I would like that number 44, Hank Aaron's uniform that's on display in the window outside.
Oh my God, he wants a retired jersey.
Yeah, he's like, can I get that one? Just break the glass, right?
Nice.
Clean it when I'm done. What's the problem? But the big loss for Amos Otis and a bunch of the other players is their baseball gloves. They don't really care about the uniforms. It doesn't mean anything to them. But the gloves actually have exactly real value to them.
Oh.
So
did you say their gloves were stolen?
10 of them.
Or was I just wasn't listening
10,
to you?
Yeah, you weren't listening. But it's fine. I'll repeat it for you, Elizabeth.
I think I was really stuck on the whole jockstrap thing.
Yeah, you were. You were just thinking about chonies and underwear. I know.
Just, dreaming away.
Yeah, as you do. Like thigh meat. What were you saying? So Fred...
I'm imagining their haunches. Wait, so they're 10 gloves.
10 gloves are taken. Fred Patek, he's one of the players who had a glove stolen.
Yeah.
He told the sports writers, and I quote, why that glove? I've used that glove in every big league game I've ever played. 10 years with the same glove. I've got this glove I've been breaking in for a couple years, but I've never used it after spring training. I can't understand why they didn't take that newest glove. Yeah, poor guy, right? Another player who loses a glove, my man, Amos Otis, the center fielder who wanted Hank Aaron's uniform.
That, for some reason, is so much more heartbreaking than anything else. Because it's something that is, so essential to them.
Completely, and also often sentimental. In this case, doubly so. He told the AP at the time, the first one my brother gave me in '65, that was that glove.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
So he's all upset. And the other one he got was from a Royals pitching coach, and he's like, this guy named Galen Cisco. So Otis tells the reporters, Cisco gave me the other one at 73. If they really have to steal it, I mean, they can have it, but it did have sentimental value.
Right? Wait, so they stole 10 and 2 of them were famous Amoses?
Yep, Otis.
Yeeks.
Yeah, so also this is, by the way, not the first time he had a glove stolen. Like Otis had some tough luck, right?
If it wasn't for bad luck, he'd have no luck at all.
That's what my sister says all the time. I've heard that expression.
It's an old blues.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. It's like a family one around here. Anyway, so Otis Amos, he says, and I quote, This new one's 4 years old. Now I'm going 0 for 2. I had one that was 8 years old, ripped off a couple of years ago in Boston, and now this one. I'll just have to try to get another old glove from somebody. I give my new gloves away. Someone had once offered him $2,000 for one of his gloves, and he turned down the offer.
Wow.
Yeah, so his gloves are worth more to him than money.
Yeah.
So the Royals, by the way, in the game, they lose. Royals lost 4-0 because they're all distracted. It was a 7-hit shutout.
Yeah, they just didn't feel it. They didn't feel good.
Yeah, after the game, the Brewers manager, Alex Grammas, Amos Otis wearing his uniform, that manager, Alex Grammas, he says, quote, it felt like we were beating ourselves out there today. Everybody comedian. Everybody funny.
Everybody funny. Now you funny too.
So of these 53 baseball uniforms, the hats, cleats, gloves, all that's stolen, how much do you think they get back?
Nothing.
Exactly. Yeah, now, who would steal it and where does it go?
The clown kid.
The clown kid. What are you doing here with your hands? The clown kid. Was there a clown kid we mentioned earlier?
There's the cut up the card
fella. Jim Colburn.
Yeah.
The pitcher, the 20-game winner.
Yeah, and then you go in the off season and he's at one of those conventions selling them at a table.
Wasn't him, but good guess. I like where your head's at.
Thank you.
The sporting press assumed it was collectors. They're like, it's probably on the black market. You're never going to see that again. Probably an insider job, blah, blah, blah. Well, they checked the collector's market. Nothing really popped up for a long time. But the baseball collectible black market, the hard men of that market, they apparently were able to move this merch without anybody else really finding it. So maybe they already had buyers lined up.
Yeah.
Who knows? But the players were pretty suspicious that it was an inside job from the Brewers clubhouse and somebody who had sold it.
That makes
right?
sense, yeah.
Thieves, they never get named, never get caught.
And nothing's ever turned up.
Never gets solved. But some of the team uniforms allegedly were popping up on deep black markets. And one of the Royals pitchers, Andy Hassler, back when he was with the Angels, they had a bunch of uniforms stolen. And he said that a guy had come up to him, and I quote, later a guy came up to me with my uniform shirt and wanted me to autograph it for him. I asked him where he got it. He said he bought it at a souvenir auction. So that's where you'd have to check is all the souvenir auctions. And at that time, it wasn't easy to do. So most likely the stuff, if it did get moved in public, got moved quick.
Right.
So now you asked earlier about why didn't they just go to the gift shop and get some new uniforms? Yeah. Turns out that actually would have been a good answer. Lou Whitaker, I'm not sure if you know him, Detroit Tigers baseball player, all-star. In the 80s, 1985 All-Star game, Lou Whitaker shows up to the All-Star game and he's like, I got to bring my own uniform? Guys, I don't have it. What are we going to do? So they're like, Lou, what are you talking about? He's like, I don't have a uniform. Come on, I'll go to the gift shop. So he takes the Elizabeth plan, goes up to the gift shop, gets himself a uniform, gets himself a Sharpie, writes on the back a number. And the guy's like, you want to go put Whitaker? He's like, that's too much writing. Just put the number. He leaves his name off. He buys a hat from the gift shop, goes out, plays in it. This is what gives Major League Baseball the idea to sell replica jerseys. Up till that point, with Lou Whitaker at the All-Star game, they had never thought to sell replica jerseys. So he just got like a T-shirt. Yeah, no, he got like a jersey, but that's when they started selling like players' jerseys.
With their names on it.
As opposed to just a generic, hey, here's an Orioles jersey.
Right.
Because now you can get it exactly with the player's name, the number, and everything on the back.
And then if something happens, they can run up and buy their own jersey.
Exactly.
If they spill on it. Or...
That uniform, by the way, that he made is now in the Smithsonian. Smithsonian's like, I respect your game.
Oh,
Lou
Whitaker.
Yeah, Lou Whitaker, my man.
That's incredible.
So since the Royals were on the road trip, and they were not headed home, so now they have no uniforms. They got to go. Will the next team allow them to wear their uniforms? Are they just going to keep doing this?
The equivalent of couch surfing.
Yeah. Should they hit up a Goodwill on the way and be like, what do you guys got? Well, what they decided to do is they're like, we're going to the Yankees, and those guys are a pain. You know how the Yankees are. So they're like, let's call back. They call Kansas City. They're like, get us as many uniforms as you can. Just send them out. Yeah. So they have a bunch of uniforms all shipped out to the Bronx, and they make it in time for their stretch, and they manage to have their own uniforms. They're a little tight, a little starchy, but they're their uniforms.
Right.
There's one silver lining I want to leave you with in this story.
Okay.
Remember my man, famous Amos Otis?
Yes.
Okay. Remember his glove?
Yes.
Well, There is a happy ending to that story.
I like that.
And I quote, "My baseball glove, the only one I've ever used, had a big hole in the middle. I was leaving the clubhouse to go out to the dugout, and I walked by the trash can, and my glove was in it. They had thrown my glove in the trash."
The thieves threw the glove away.
The thieves were like, "This thing's got a hole in it," so they threw the glove away. Now, if you can believe it, this was not the first time that famous Amos Otis found a glove in the trash. In spring training, he was down in Sun City, Arizona, and
Dumpster diving.
Thieves broke into the clubhouse. They stole all the Royals uniforms. He was still on the Royals at that time. And this is, by the way...
Wait, this is before or after?
This was after the original theft. So he now knows like how this is going to go down. So when he's down in Sun City and they steal, the thieves break in and go like, "Hey, let's do like a copycat crime and steal their uniforms. Royals are punks. You can roll them easy," right? So they go in, steal their uniforms. Otis's glove gets stolen. He knows what to do. He doesn't freak out. He doesn't get worried. Doesn't talk to sports writers. He just heads right outside.
He got funky.
He looks in the dumpster and he finds his glove sitting right on top of the trash.
I love it.
For another time.
I love it.
This is how he put it. Otis said, "So I walk over to the trash can and sure enough, my glove was in there."
I love that.
So Elizabeth, what's our ridiculous takeaway here?
I think our ridiculous takeaway is that we need more ridiculous energy in entertainment and sports.
Yes.
I think that it's very corporate and stilted these days. And I like when it gets loose, gets silly. I like that.
Let's get funky with it.
I just want to get funky with everything.
Yeah, that's always what you're saying. Like I reach over, I'm like, "Hey, could you pass the pepper?" And you're like, "Do you want to get funky with it?"
Let's get funky with it. Yeah.
My ridiculous takeaway, thank you for asking.
I purposely never ask you. And it's in part because I know you're just going to say it whether I want to hear it or not.
Oh, I'm just going to drone it into you.
But also I'm usually just like, set adrift on memory bliss thinking of something that you were talking about earlier.
Oh, don't try to play coy with me, Dutton. So
go ahead.
My ridiculous
Tell me your takeaway.
Mine. The Milwaukee Brewers. I said it earlier.
That's your takeaway?
Yeah, the Milwaukee Brewers. Just take it and go. The Milwaukee Brewers. It's a ridiculous name, right? Like, what are you? We're the Brewers of Milwaukee. You're
because they brew beer there.
I get it. I mean, like, I totally get it. Milwaukee, famous for brewing beer.
You're supposed to imagine that they do the Laverne and Shirley brewing, and then they're like, "Oh, the whistle, we got to go play," and then they all skip down the road to the.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, I'm with it. And I like the whole blue collar aspect of it. Don't get me wrong, right? I mean, there are sillier names. And this is kind of my whole point. In Major League Baseball, there are 3 teams named for underwear. There is the White Sox, the Red Sox, and the Cincinnati Reds, which were originally the Cincinnati Red Stockings. 3 underwears, right? But I'm not done. Then there are the Phillies. What is a Philly? I'll give you $5 if you can tell me what a Philly is.
Isn't it a baby horse?
Well, that's, yes, with an F. But what's with a PH, Philly?
They're like fun little Philadelphia people.
I have no idea. Only thing I know about the Philadelphia Phillies is I bet a Philly is something that will cuss at me.
Yeah, probably.
Like, "Hey, that's a Philadelphia. That's all I know." But okay, how about this? Philadelphia Athletics. The Oakland Athletics were originally the Philadelphia Athletics. What's an athletic?
A bunch of athletic,
it's just a jock.
fellas.
It's like, hey, go sports guys. Okay,
and then they become the A's, so you're just an A.
I got another one for you.
Yeah,
the Dodgers. They were named for the beloved New York tradition of dodging death in the streets.
Yeah.
The team's name was the Brooklyn Trolley Dodgers. So it's like, oh, you made it to your destination. Way to go.
The greatest name, the Trolley Dodgers.
No. Oh, I forgot. The most ridiculous. The mountaintop is you can root for Catholic priests as a team. Yeah. The San Diego Padres.
Yeah, what's up, Padres?
Well, I guess they're the monks, Junipero Serra, but still.
No, but you say priests. The priests. How you doing, Padre?
Exactly. Like, and we're going to have people dare to say, "I can't believe the Indians changed their name to the Guardians." The whole league is ridiculous.
Yeah.
The Guardians is at least a respectable name that's not offensive. I think we can live.
I wish they'd pick something sillier. That's a good point, though.
Yeah, because their opponents are underwear Catholic priests and New Yorkers who live to see another day. Okay, you see where I'm going with this.
I totally see where you're going with this.
So, but what can I say? I love baseball.
That's a great takeaway. I love baseball, too.
Thank you for joining us.
I'm Zaron Burnett.
And over there, that is Elizabeth Dutton.
And also Zaron Burnett.
And also Elizabeth Dutton. You can find us online at Ridiculous Crime on both Twitter and Instagram.
We are very online.
Super online. Mad online.
Super.
If you got a tip for us because you're a snitch, hit us up. If you just want to tell us about a ridiculous crime you'd like to hear about, we'd love those too. If you want to confess to a ridiculous crime, we don't recommend that, but we're not lawyers.
I do.
Do it.
Do it.
So email us at ridiculouscrime@gmail.com. We promise we won't tell the cops. Thanks for listening. Ridiculous Crime is hosted by Elizabeth Dutton and Zaron Burnett. Produced and edited by our besuited player-manager, Dave Koustin. Research is by the head of the Baseball Almanac, Marissa Brown. Our theme song is by Thomas Baby Blues Lee and Travis Oakland Green Dutton. Our executive producers are head umpire, Ben Bolin, and field umpire, Noel Brown.
Ridiculous crime.
Say it one more time.
Ridiculous crime.
Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.